Okay, so while everybody's getting sat down, I'll go ahead and talk because nobody listens to what I say anyway. Dean DeLisle here is from, I'm sorry. So, Dean, Dean reached out to me before the last conference, and I don't even know necessarily how you ran into me, but he was good enough to get on an airplane and fly out here and see what we're doing. And again, as I mentioned many times, I'm sort of searching for ways for public companies, small public companies, to try to raise capital. And when Dean came out last time and shared with me some of the things that he was doing, I just think he's on the right track. And he's been very gracious about coming out and participating in this and sharing ideas with me. And I feel like we kind of have this opportunity to collaborate on some things going forward. So I asked Dean if he would come and speak a little bit about some of the things that he's doing on the capital side, in hopes that maybe some of you who may have portfolio companies that need help, or you may know of other companies that need help. I just sort of believe that all I really do here is try to, provide a door that somebody can open that opens another door, and that's just how this works. So with that said, I'm going to let Dean tell you what he does, and hopefully he'll have some ideas that maybe can help some of the companies you might be involved in, or companies that are here for that matter. So,
thank you. We hear it for Dave and Trickle Research. This is only my second one, but wow. All right, so a couple of two quick background notes, because I promised Dave that I would teach you guys at least one or two things. So I started at Merrill Lynch at the age of 20 in 1982. And I wasn't in the trading side, I was in the technology side. And for the young people in the room, that's when we were taking punch cards and putting them on the first internet before Al Gore invented it. So, at the age of 20, I was able to be part of a project like that. But what I found is I learned how money moved. Secondly, I grew up with two parents who were school teachers. So I learned the value early on, because I had to help grade papers every night, the value of education and the value of learning. So as my career progressed and I needed capital for my own means, I started to educate folks on whatever it was I was raising capital for, be it a tech company or real estate. Those are my two asset classes. I knew real estate from my family, I knew tech from my background. So fast forward a little bit, I started a company 25 years ago called Forward Progress. Now I'm a sports guy, so Forward Progress is a football term. You probably hear it at least 100 times every weekend during football season, which I love because I don't pay for any one of those announcements. That company today, I stepped out of the driver's seat as CEO 5 years ago, and that company today raises 50 to 70 million a month in retail capital from accredited investors, just like many of the folks sitting in this room. So we use data, AI, and education as the primary drivers. Now, the reason I think it's important to mention those things is because when we get issuers and founders of companies, it seems like in the beginning, we have that initial cap raise that we come in and we assist with. So when we come in with that initial cap raise, whether it's 20 million, whether it's 30 million, whether it's 5 million, whatever it is, and now we have the capital, it's like we forget a few things. So when we come in and we jump you out of the gate, we want to educate people on the market. Just like Trickle Research educates everybody in this room with the books and the research and the things that you do as investors, we want to understand what we're investing in. So what's interesting is every capital raise that we are part of, we literally educate the investors, all the potential investors. And what's interesting is those investors, once they're educated, bring other investors. So it becomes a lower cost of acquisition for each one of those investors. So with that, we analyze the data, we use a lot of cool AI tools, but then what happens is we form a social network. Not Facebook, not LinkedIn, but around the brand. We create a social network of people that actually create a movement on behalf of the brand. And I'll be happy to meet with any of you after this or during the ball game to give you more specifics. So we have cheat sheets and all kinds of cool tools. But what's interesting as part of that social network is about a year ago, maybe a year and a month ago, I was looking for an investment bank to invest in. And lo and behold, somebody that I had known for 15 years, I just decided to reach out on LinkedIn and say, hey, let's have a beer, it's NCAA. I'm a Purdue guy, you're a Wisconsin guy. I promise we won't fight, and we can watch some games together. So I invited him over, we had a keg going at the office, and I'm telling him my story, and I'm saying, I want to invest in an investment bank. And he goes, I own one of those. And it just happens to be Regiment Securities. So fast forward, I invested with Mike Cavanaugh, the founder and CEO of Regiment Securities, who was a boutique investment bank that knew how to educate his market, knew how to utilize data, and build a social network around any of his issuers. And at any given time, they have 500 deals going on with about 35 reps and a syndicate of about 25 other investment banks. But if I were to draw you a map, that's the entire ecosystem that we've started. So we've come together to form, and I call this atom smashing, when you have two powerful networks that come together to really change the way things are done. And we're rolling out Regiment Express, and I put this QR code, I think it's in the book too if you guys want to get on the waiting list for it. It launches next week. And I'm telling you, it is second to none. It's going to have a social network for investors. It's going to have education for issuers. And it's really going to be second to none. Now, one last thing, Dave. I know you want me off of the stage, but I have the mic. So just as an example, when we find an issuer, and that maybe one of you out here comes up to me, we want to make sure that you're coachable. You have to be coachable. So I was coming off stage at a family office club event, coaching family offices from the stage. And then all of a sudden, the next group after me, I was looking for a third asset class. Remember I said I did real estate and tech? Well, then all of a sudden, the guys coming up were all retired athletes. And then I met one that was starting a fund. I used to fight MMA, he was retired MMA, we hit it off, but they're doing something that nobody else does. They have a 40 Act mutual fund that is going in and not just buying into sports teams, but buying into sports assets. So what do you think the most profitable thing in this building is today? Somebody guess.
Rent.
Huh?
Rent.
Nope.
Bar concessions.
Nope.
Real estate. Real estate.
That's close. The plumbing. 60% margins. So think about that. There's assets all around just this one stadium that potentially are good investments. So Champion Venture Partners is here today. Nick Edwards is the CEO, and he not only fights for your capital, but he can also protect you if a bar fight breaks out. Listen, I hope you learned a couple of things, but please, if you want to ask me, I can get you all kinds of, free coachable worksheets. I'm big about sharing. So thank you for a few minutes up here, and we'll see you later today.